Alright, let's talk. It's Into the Radius 2. It's coming out July 27th. That is not long at all. It's going to be approaching much faster than anyone's really expecting. I wasn't expecting us to get early access until at least August. And I figured we probably got some things we should probably discuss for the channel. What are some videos going to look like in the future? What are things I'm focusing on with Into the Radius 2 coming out? So this is just a quick temporary, I'm going to delete this video later, temporary video just talking about the expectations you can have for Into the Radius 2 and for the expectations of this channel. So, I'm going to be straight up and honest with you guys. I've already played Into the Radius 2. I've been given the early access to the closed beta. And I got to play the earliest form of Into the Radius we got to play. I'm not the only one, of course, since Desard, the finance guy, X-Pasty, a bunch of others were allowed to play the early access, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. I seriously enjoyed my time testing out the game, and I'm super excited for everybody to be able to play the game for themselves. It is a lot of fun. It is definitely early access, though. You can tell it is got the bugs, it's a bit janky, it's got some issues that the developers are working out. I've been, myself as well as a bunch of other content creators, brought on to the early access to help point out and discover any of these bugs. And we did okay. We've done our best to find as many as we can, and we're still finding some. The developers are doing their best to try and fix it before early access goes live. Now, we got the go-ahead to give everybody kind of a sneak peek or start showing some footage of the early access game. I'm not going to do that, though. I'm not going to show anything. I've thought about this for a while, and I don't think it would be fair to show you guys the early access stuff, at least not on my channel. If you guys want to go see it, I know Synthesizard, the finance guy, and X-Pasty have all put out videos or streams looking into allowing you guys to get a glimpse of Into the Radius 2. If you want to take a look, please go look at them. Go watch the videos, take a look at the stuff. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised just how good the game looks. But on this channel, I don't think we're really going to touch Into the Radius 2, at least until the early access has a few weeks of life under its belt. Main reason, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. I want you guys to go into this game raw and just experience it all for yourselves. Because honestly, it's worth it. I went into it blind. I got no prior access into the game before my first jump into the closed beta, and it was, there we go. I think that's an experience everyone should have, to experience the game for themselves for the first time, and I don't want to spoil any of that for you guys. I will, however, quickly to go over a couple things that I think we should point out about the early access, just what some expectations are, not just for the game, but also for yourselves as the player. Now, early access of Into the Radius 2 is going to be exactly that, very early access. There's not going to be a lot of content in the game. And of course, there's only going to be 2 locations available to be explored, and one that you'll have missions access to. So don't expect to have like the full Into the Radius experience like you're used to with Into the Radius 1. It's not as complete as all that. We don't have body armor yet. We don't have the ability to repair weapons because they don't break yet. So there's a lot of stuff that will be added in the future. Don't go into this game expecting it to be like Into the Radius 1, where you can go in, find Katya, start playing the story, because there is no story laid out just yet. We don't have any story-based missions. So far, it's all just testing missions. Just making sure that everything that we do is specifically designed to test the game and make sure that the game's going to be okay. Now, that might change when early access actually comes out for the public. So should you actually play Into the Radius 2? Yeah. It is the best way to support Into the Radius 2's development, is to go out there, grab the early access if you can afford it, and definitely give it some test runs. And besides wanting to avoid spoilers, I definitely have another ulterior motive to not jumping into the Radius just yet. This guy right here, D, is a good example of it. Out of all the logs for D, and I know you guys been asking for a report on D, I am still missing a lot of pages. I'm pretty sure I'm missing only 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm pretty sure I'm only missing 4 pages of D. Shadow Monk. I'm missing pages. And I want to complete the story of Into the Radius 1 before I jump into the Radius 2. I have a lot of loose ends that I need to tie up here before I jump into the Radius 2. For lack of a better term, I am going to make some Into the Radius 2 content, but later. I'm going to wrap things up here, and I'm going to just slowly step into the Radius 2. I'm probably not even going to have any log videos coming out until much later on. Simply because my channel is all about the story of Into the Radius. I wanted to go into this game researching the story, because the story is fascinating to me. I love this story. I know the story is complex, and I've taken my time kind of going over all the lore and figuring things out. So with that being said, I know I've kind of been slacking with the summary of the story. I can do that. I want to start moving forward on that, actually. I'm going to start what I call Operation Cleanup. So, what I'm planning to do is, instead of making one long Into the Radius lore video... Oh, shoot, my Glock's in there. Whoopsie! So instead of making one really long Into the Radius lore video like I was planning to do, I'm going to break it up into several smaller videos and try and cover as much of the story as I can in smaller chunks, because I really wanted to try and make a full-scale documentary about Into the Radius lore, complete with interviews and found footage type stuff. I thought that'd be a lot of fun, and I would love to do that one day. It's a very taxing job to put that much effort into a video of that size, and when I'm done with it, to get all the information about the lore of the Radius out there, by the time it would be all said and done, that video would probably end up being 3 hours long, and that's a lot more time that I want to spend on a single video. So instead, what we're going to do is I'm going to start the What We Know About series. I've already put out the first video as kind of a test. That was the What We Know About Entities video. That was the whole purpose of that, was to kind of start the discussion of what we know about the Radius. So we're going to start going into those kind of videos, really breaking down the different elements of Into the Radius 1, and really discussing all the different aspects of what the story and the world is of Into the Radius. So the next videos, I actually want your guys' help, because there's so many different aspects of all these different stories that are in the Radius. There's the main story, there's sub-stories, and there's... So here's what I'm going to do. The next little bit, I'm going to be focusing on a new aspect of the channel, where we are going to look into all the different aspects of Into the Radius 1. And we are going to do that over the course of the next few weeks, few months, however long it's going to take. And then when that's done, we will jump into the Radius 2. Holy crap, it works. So when I made that video of what we know about the entities, I wanted that to be my entry into what we know about series. So where that video we would talk about what we know about the entities, what we know about the locations, what we know about the UNPSC, what we know about the nature of the Radius. I want to talk about all these different aspects, but we're going to do it in step-by-step videos so that I can take the time to go over each of those topics and do them right. Because the last thing I want to do is make a long video and miss so many details, especially when it comes to the small stories of the world building, because there's so many good stories in the Radius itself. And I'm so excited to try and break all that down with you guys. That being said, I'm going to ask for your patience as I try to get videos out, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in my life right now, and it's all wonderful stuff. It's all good stuff, but I'm now a really busy guy. So I'm still trying to put out videos. I'm still trying to get content out there for Into the Radius stuff. But everything's going to go on a little bit slower. Not hiatus, but it's definitely going to take more time for me to get videos out there. I'm still going to make sure they have all the quality and the storytelling that you guys are used to. But for now, I'm going to focus on getting the lore out there. I'm going to focus on covering as much of the lore as possible through small videos of what we know about series. I'm still going to make logs though. I still have one log coming out. Log 19 is actually supposed to come out very shortly, so keep an eye out for that. And I have a couple extra videos. I still want to make the rest of the how much money can you make videos, where we go over how much money can you make in each of the zones. When Into the Radius 2 does go live for public with its early access, I am going to play a little bit of that, just so I can jump on the Into the Radius 2 bandwagon, because I think it'd be good for the algorithm. But for now, I'm not going to do anything until you guys have the chance to do something. That way I'm not spoiling things for you. Anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble on a little bit here. There we go. Yeah, this is just a very short, little, quick summary of what's happening for the channel, what's happening for Into the Radius 2, for myself. Now, with that being said, I would like your guys' help picking the next What We Know About series, because we've done entities. Now I want to know what you guys want to learn more about specifically. Do you guys want to learn about the UNPSC? Do you guys want to learn about the nature of the Radius and how it works? Do you guys want to learn of each individual zone, what we know about each individual zone, like Balotki Village, and the stories within Balotki Village? Because I'm going to break down all the important lore locations within each of the zones. So leave me your opinions. Tell me what you want to learn. And I will put that into the list of priorities, and we will look into the lore of Into the Radius before we jump into the Radius 2. So yeah, in summary, I'm going to wait a bit before I start posting things about Into the Radius 2 for now, and we will just focus on getting all of this wrapped up. So once all this is wrapped up and I feel confident in our theories of how this world works, the stories behind it, and all of that, we will jump into the Radius 2 with a big finale for Into the Radius 1, where we'll close it, and that's going to be log number 20, I believe. It's up in the air right now, but I like that to be log number 20. And then we will start looking into the Radius 2 and the stories and the lore that the developers and the writers of Into the Radius have in store for us. And I am so excited. It's going to be so much fun. And you know, I'm not going to lie. I'm gonna miss this place. I'm gonna miss Into the Radius 1. This is where it all began. This is where I started my YouTube journey. And I want to thank you all for being part of that. It's been one heck of a journey. Now, I do have a little surprise for you guys. I have a goal. And my goal is to reach 500 subscribers. If I can reach 500 subscribers, my parents have agreed to play Into the Radius 1. So if you want to see my mom and dad play Into the Radius, eventually, and it all works out with them for the timing and schedules, things like that, then we can hit 500 subscribers, and I'm going to have them play this game. It'll be a fun little special. Until then, explorers, we will get this story figured out. We will break down its lore, and we will find out its stories one video at a time. And we're going to have some fun doing this. So I hope you enjoy my stuff. And if you want to see my parents play Into the Radius, get me to 500 subscribers or more, and then we'll talk. Because I really want them to play this. It's going to be fun. Cake isn't supposed to be crunchy like that.